2IG Sports talking boxing as always with our guy Robert Exel, the editor-in-chief of boxing.com. That's what it is. Robert, let me ask you, a hell of a fight on Saturday, Timothy Bradley against Ruslan Provodnikov. I went into it with very low expectations, just another Saturday night fight, and it turned out to be a brawling, brutal, intense fight with Timothy Bradley going down in the 12th round. He obviously got back up and won a unanimous decision. I believe the scores were 115, 112 one time, 114, 113 twice. Let's first get to it, and let me ask you, Pat Russell ruled that in the first round he did not get knocked down. He was very woozy. It appeared that Provodnikov did not push him down at all, either did Provodnikov push Bradley down. Do you believe that Pat Russell blew the call?
Yes, Pat Russell definitely blew the call. Understandable that he could have missed it. A lot is happening. He's up close. It's very difficult to sort of get everything right. But when he sort of helped Bradley to his feet, Bradley once again stumbled backward. It was obviously he was hurt.
Yeah, he fell down. He fell down when he tried to help him up.
Precisely. So it was an opportunity for Pat Russell to sort of right his wrong, and he failed to do so. So in a sense, he blew it twice in that particular round.
Now, after the match, after the fight, Bradley was booed. It's surprising because if you want to win over fans, especially in what seems like not necessarily your home state, it doesn't seem like Bradley really has a home state, but he is from California. I believe he trains in California. If there's any way to win fans, it's to get your ass pummeled and beaten for 12 rounds, and that's exactly what happened. He was on the winning side, of course, but he was booed afterwards. Is this a guy that simply can't catch a break, Robert?
Yes, in one sense. I mean, there's still a lot of bad feeling about his quote-unquote victory over Manny Pacquiao, but there are also questions about this decision. It was a fabulous contest, a great performance. I mean, Bradley is in amazing shape, an incredibly resilient fighter, but there are some questions about whether or not he actually won the fight. Pat Russell's mistake aside, which should have been a 10-8 round, I'm not so sure the second round also should have been a 10-8 round.
Yeah.
That would have not been Pat Russell's call. That would have been the judge's call, and I'm not so sure that they got it right. And if those two rounds had been 10-8, basically Bradley would have lost the fight. Now, I don't know whether the fans in the stands were that sort of sensitive to what was going on, but they were sensitive to the fact that Bradley was rocked, and rocked seriously several times, whereas Provodnikov, whose face looked like roadkill, really wasn't hurt, not to the degree that Bradley was.
Timothy Bradley, 30-0 now with 12 knockouts, a astounding record, obviously. True warrior. I mean, toe-to-toe, really, did he battle with Ruslan Provodnikov, which, by the way, was his first fight at welterweight. Not sure many guys are going to want to step in the ring with Ruslan Provodnikov after watching this fight. Both trainers even threatened to stop the fight at different points on Saturday night. So it was very entertaining, to say the least. Do you think that the judges penalized Provodnikov for taking off a few rounds here and there, as Jim Lampley would put it, vacation rounds here and there?
I don't know how they could. I mean, a fighter has to do what the fighter has to do in order to survive. It was a brutal contest. Both of these fighters were taking an inordinate amount of punches, and as their trainers both pointed out, I think they both feared that their fighters might suffer irreversible damage. In Bradley's case, I think that might be so, but I don't think Provodnikov took rounds off. I think Provodnikov fought his fight as best as he could fight his fight, and he came in as a real, the long shot, and really might have won that fight had the judges seen it differently.
Provodnikov is trained by Freddie Roach, who of course trains Manny Pacquiao. He is Manny Pacquiao's sparring partner. Seriously, I mean, this is his first fight at welterweight. I mean, look, he didn't win on the cards, but he won in many boxing fans' eyes, because it seems like there will not be a ton of guys who will want to get their ass pummeled and have a guy, I mean, like a blanket on top of Timothy Bradley, chasing him, stalking him around the ring. Who will want to fight this guy, Robert?
I'm not sure. I think he may be the most avoided man in boxing right now. But the opportunity will come up. The money will be there. Provodnikov has raised his profile immensely with his amazing performance, and the money will be there. Somebody will take this fight. We haven't heard the last of Ruslan Provodnikov, not by a long shot.
Certainly not. 22-2 with 15 knockouts now for the Russian. Solid opponent, it seems like. If you want to really earn a win, fight this guy. Let me ask you this. What could be next for Timothy Bradley after this performance?
Well, I mean, it remains to be seen. I mean, Bradley's in an odd situation. He is basically a top-ranked fighter, which means that he cannot fight anybody who is affiliated with Golden Boy. Most of the talent at his weight division is really with Golden Boy Promotions. So I'm not sure exactly what Bradley's move is going to be.
Can you give me a name?
I'm not sure.
Can you give me a name?
Pardon
Robert?
me?
Can you give me a name?
Well, I'm also I can't, and I'm really wondering about Bradley's future, because Bradley, as you know, I believe was concussed. He was taken by ambulance to the hospital after the fight. Yeah. He was hurt, and he was hurt bad. During the interview, he was saying he was still dizzy after the fight was over. I don't know what his future is. I don't know how long his future is going to be. So I'm sort of at a wait-and-see position in terms of Bradley.
Now, let me ask you this, Robert. Before we went on the air, you told me that HBO and Golden Boy are parting ways. Golden Boy will now be with Showtime. I mean, you just told me about this. I don't know a ton, so the audience, please forgive me. Robert, what's the latest on all that?
Well, there isn't a ton to know. Apparently, there was a conference call earlier today with a few selective writers. HBO has basically announced that Broner is leaving HBO. He is going where all Golden Boy fighters seem to go, which is over to Showtime. HBO will not be dealing with Al Heyman anymore, or Al Heyman's team, and HBO is sort of like left in a lurch, because who exactly, aside from Donaire, I mean, what superstars do they have? They may be forced into a position where they have to start focusing rather on boxing rather than on boxing celebrities, because all the boxing celebrities are really with Showtime and with Golden Boy. So HBO is going to have to sort of really take a look at their boxing program and decide what they're going to do with it.
That is a massive, massive hit for HBO. And tell me really quickly, Brandon Rios is with Golden Boy, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so Brandon Rios, after this Alvarado fight, seems to be out of the question, which, of course, I believe is coming up next week. That is a huge blow for HBO, because not only for pay-per-view did they have Floyd Mayweather, who just jumped ship to rival Showtime, now the Floyd Mayweather prototype, Adrian Broner, is now going to Showtime. All of Al Heyman fighters, who are all solid fighters, are now going to Showtime. I mean, it seems like there's nothing left now for HBO.
Well, that's why they're going to really have to revise. They're really going to have to take a look at their boxing program and decide what they're going to do. I mean, I think there has been increasing disinterest from the HBO brass in their boxing program. They embraced boxing early, as you know, and over the years, I mean, it has created a lot of revenue, but at the same time, revenue basically through pay-per-view, but it seems to be diminishing returns to some extent. And now that everybody, or almost everybody, has fled over to Showtime, they really have to take a look at their boxing program and see where does it go from here.
Or, I mean, many have said that boxing is a dying sport. I mean, look, we may have doubted it after the Pacquiao decision. Obviously, we're still around. We'll still love it till the day we die. But, you know, HBO may have to restructure, or do they just surrender? Do they wave the white flag to Showtime? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Either way, Robert Exel, you'll always be on top of it. You can follow him on Twitter at boxing_com and follow his fantastic writing at www.boxing.com. Robert, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you next week.
Okay, terrific, Rick.